Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me directly through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is an internationally syndicated show solely due to the love and support that you all continue to show. We're available across all major podcast distributors, and like I mentioned, people, if you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in because we are delighted to showcase this next guest on our network. And on the line with us today, we have Dr. Christine Charyton. Now, a lot of you may remember Dr. Charyton when she was on our network previously. Well, listen, we had such a great discussion that we had to invite her back. Now, Dr. Charyton is back to talk about another impressive book that she has lined up. Now, it's not available for purchase just yet, but you'll be able to purchase it this upcoming November 15th, 2024, but it goes on sale for the pre-order as early as November 5th. All right, now this one is called The Biography of a Polymath, the Empress of Tomorrow, Dr. Christine Charyton. And it's something that is just as impressive as her previous books, but she has so much more in store. I'm telling you, you're gonna wanna head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the regular online book resellers to pick up her copies, but you're also gonna wanna check out her personal sites to really gather everything that she has in store. Now, there's a number of them that I'm gonna list for you here. There's ChristineCharytonPhD.com, DrChristineCharyton.com, DrCharytonMusk.com, as well as SidPeace.com. You're gonna find out more information on her, more information on her upcoming presidential campaign, but you're also gonna find some music that she has written because, listen, if all of that wasn't impressive enough, Dr. Charyton also is a musician and has a lot of phenomenal pieces of work that you're gonna wanna check out as well. We're gonna cover a whole host of things today, okay? Sit back and strap in, because I promise you, if you thought last time was good, this one's gonna blow it out of the water, all right? Dr. Charyton, first and foremost, welcome back to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Well, listen, the pleasure is all ours. All right, we're really looking forward to this, Dr. Charyton. I think, as I mentioned to you last time, and I'm going to follow suit in the same way, what you have done, what you continue to do, and what you will do is something beyond impressive. We love what your campaign stands for. We love what your books symbolize. And listen, that music is pretty damn good itself. All right. Now, before we go into all of this amazing stuff, for our listening audience that happened to miss the previous discussion that we had, let's start off on that foundation. Okay. Start off by telling us a little bit more about yourself and your background.
Yes, well, let's see. To start with my background, I'm Ukrainian American. My dad was born in Ukraine, came to the United States of America with a $2 bill and made the life for himself, became an entrepreneur as an independent contractor, owned a single home, and was a product of the American dream. And I'm a product of the American dream also. Mm-hmm. I'm a first-generation college student. I was in the Act 101 program, which was for academically disadvantaged students because my parents did not go to college, which is why I was academically disadvantaged. Oh, wow. And I didn't read a lot of books in English. In my English classes, I didn't enjoy reading. Mm-hmm. I didn't enjoy fiction. I only enjoyed nonfiction, so I didn't read much in high school. Mm-hmm. And I was academically disadvantaged. However, I was also in the honors program at the same time. So to be in the honors program, faculty have to admit you, and also students have to admit you. So I was admitted in both the faculty and the students. Took classes on AI back in the 1980s. So AI is a big issue right now. Yeah. I had those classes in the 1980s and loved them. Mm-hmm. Learned about acid rain in the 1980s also from my honors classes. Was a senior honors steering representative for my class, achieved the Elnetta G. Jones. I was the first recipient of that scholarship, and that enabled me to go to Temple University, my master's program in counseling. And then from there, I lived out in Los Angeles near you. I worked at Woodland Hills at University of Phoenix and lived where Tiger Woods crashed his vehicle on Hawthorne Boulevard in Rancho Palos Verdes in a small studio apartment, and worked at a gas station even. My parents' store, they had a fast food place called Jay's Steaks and Subs that was previous to that, that I actually did the fries and made the milkshakes and the hoagies. And my dad had a vision that that would be the next business that would be better than McDonald's, is having cheesesteaks and hoagies. Because I'm from Philadelphia, born and raised, so that's me. So, but then moved out to Los Angeles for the American dream that I realized was not quite the American dream I wanted, that people that were illegally there had more rights than me, and I really had to pay my dues. So then I moved back to Pennsylvania, ended up getting my PhD at Temple University, and ended up getting multiple scholarships. I had a full tuition scholarship in the dean's office, and for Associate Dean, Tom Walker. He was a great person. And then I also ended up getting the Polish Tribute Award to travel. I won the Humanitarian Award, which was fabulous, for helping Temple University achieve a perfect NCATE score, which is the National Council Accreditation of Teacher Education. So I worked in the College of Education. So I have a lot of background about the College of Education. Also worked with special education students, teaching them. They had mental health and mental motivation problems, or also taught English as a second language to Korean and Korean American students, learned conversational Spanish in LA, took 3 years conversational Spanish, took 3 years in high school of Spanish. So I probably know more Spanish than Ukrainian, but I'm Ukrainian American. And I know some Korean as well. Anahaseo, I know that. I know Sukche. I know what I need to get by with my students. And they were great opportunities. I was so blessed. And when I worked at the gas station, I watched Voyager, Star Trek Voyager, Hercules, and Xena Warrior Princess, and read a lot of philosophy books and prepared for my GREs. It was like a school to me to get me adequately prepared for my graduate studies, and it did that. So I had the jobs that were not on my resume, that were tough jobs, and I had jobs that were on my resume. However, I also taught music students. I taught piano lessons. I also worked at men's underwear, where men would come to me and ask me, what size am I? And I'd say, haha, it's just a waist size. So a lot of amazing experiences that I've had in life. But currently, as a psychologist, I listen to what people are going through and understand their struggles, especially with the economy right now. Difficulty buying groceries, difficulty with gas prices, difficulty getting ahead. Being underemployed is a big issue. People just having a job to be underemployed and not be able to achieve what they really want yet, but they don't give up hope because the American dream is still alive. And that's what I want to do as USA president, is help people with their specific, unique American dream and help them achieve their own unique American dream. Because with the power of possibility, anything is possible. And our imagination, we can achieve whatever we want. And we can live beyond our dreams. And that's why my campaign slogan is living beyond our dreams, our American dream. And that's what our American dream is all about, is living beyond our dreams.
Listen, Dr. Charyton, I knew you were impressive before, but after hearing all of these things again, it simply solidifies how much of a person of distinction you truly are. I mean, such an impressive background. People, I'm telling you, the book again is called The Biography of a Polymath, The Empress of Tomorrow, Dr. Christine Charyton. You're going to want to look for it to come, okay? November 15th of this year, 2024. It is such a fantastic book that has a lot of information that she just relayed, but also so much more. While you're at it, don't forget, check out her other books, Chrissy's Diary, also Women's Scientific Creativity That Contributes to Society, and so much more. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, but make sure to head on over to her personal sites, ChristineSheridanPhD.com, drchristineSheridan.com, drsheridanmusk.com, as well as sidpeace.com. I'm telling you, there is so much to explore, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, Dr. Charyton, as we start to transition now, you talked a moment ago about some of the awards that you had received previously. Well, let's go a little bit deeper with that and tell us more about some of your scholastic achievements and the significance of those awards.
Yes, well, the Ruth Keith Scholarship was a needs-based scholarship. So my family was financially at need. I'm one of the students that had a free lunch. Like they say, there's no such thing as a free lunch. But I had the little card that once you got 10 free lunches, you got an ice cream. Mm-hmm. So I would save my free lunch to get my free ice cream for that time period after 10 lunches. And so because of being poor economically, even in a good neighborhood, I lived in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which is a gorgeous neighborhood, very nice. Mm-hmm. But we were low income. That was that scholarship. And here it was renewable every year with a 3.0 or above GPA. But you know what? I had a 3.0 or above GPA every year, but I was afraid to renew it because I didn't want that financial gain for my GPA because I was afraid, well, what if I don't make it one year and I get a 2.5? I'd rather get a 3.0 every year or higher and not get the money. Yeah. So that's what I did. I ended up getting a 3.0 or higher every year and made the Dean's List all the time. And then I was in gospel choir. I was in acting. I did a lot of unique experiences at Shippensburg University. I was a DJ for 4 years. In my whole entire time there, I had my own radio shows. I was rotation, prime time Tuesday from 2 to 4. And then I had my evening shows. I had Friday nights. People would be intoxicated and call me up and ask for requests of classical music that I would play them. So I would expand their comfort zone with music that they'd actually call for my classical music taste. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed jazz. I enjoyed all kinds of music, world beat music. I had a world beat radio show. I had specialty shows. The Doors and Bauhaus were my specialty shows that I had. I ended up playing the Grateful Dead also. I mean, all these specialty shows. So I really enjoyed the life there. And then from there, getting the Alnetta G. Jones scholarship, I was the first recipient ever for that scholarship. President Tony Sedia came to me and said, hey, would you like a letter of recommendation for you to go to Temple? I know Leah Flores there. I can get you a letter. And I said, absolutely, that would be great. And he said, do you know I was in Act 101? I was an Act 101 student also, and I became university president. And I said, no, that's fabulous. So he said, I want to do what I can to help you out. So I got that letter, and that was the letter that made me admitted as a master's student at Temple University. Then to get my PhD, they said you have to get more experience. So I figured where else to get the experience than California? Yeah. So it's either Los Angeles or San Francisco. And I thought I'd rather go to LA. It's warmer. I like LA. So went to LA and had my experience there. And I literally walked to the gas station I worked at. And then I would drive to Woodland Hills. That was about an hour and a half. I wrote a song called 405 Jam, which is about a traffic jam on the 405 freeway, which is how you have to get from Rancho Palos Verdes to Woodland Hills. So you take the 101 to the 405. And 405, I mean, I was on the freeway for 3 hours, which was really difficult. So instead, I just go to happy hour with my friends, and then drive later. And I'd save all the time by going to happy hour and having some appetizers and some beverages, and then boom, go back on the 405 to the 101 to Rancho Palos Verdes. So. And then my other scholarships at Temple University were when I came back in my PhD program. I had full tuition scholarship for 4 years. So that was working in the dean's office for Associate Dean Tom Walker, and it was fabulous. Great experience working with faculty. I knew all the faculty. They knew who I was. Then the humanitarian award for when I was able, I color coded everything. So I literally got my blood on these papers from paper cuts for organizing everything so well. So it was, organizing everything, color coding every box, color coding every paper in every box, color coding every binder in every box. So I was completely OCD with this, that they loved it so much. It was the first time ever we had a perfect score. And I had another fellow student that worked with me, and he was older than me, but I had to supervise him. And the dean was very nice, Trevor Sewell, and he said, for Martin Luther King Day, I want to take you out to the restaurant. And we were both so exhausted that we just slept. We just could not go to the restaurant, even though it's going to be a free meal. And we loved it. And I've always participated in every single Martin Luther King event. But he wouldn't go. And he said, and I said, well, I can't go if you're not going to go, because I couldn't have got this job done without you. And you were my employee, so to speak. And so we both did not go, but we were honored, and I was the humanitarian award recipient. I have an apple here. Here's my apple. Let me see. From Temple University.
Wow.
That's my apple. That was from my humanitarian award for education, and it meant so much. And there was a stipend involved, and Marlene Korn was the person that was the sponsor for the award, and it was beautiful. And I have other awards on my wall. I didn't even mention I was nominated for being the most outstanding future graduate. So I received an award for that, a Phi Delta Kappa award or something like that. I'm probably mispronouncing it, but it was a honorary award given to the graduate of the College of Education for the best future, and that was something that I was awarded. And then I was in Hawaii, and I gave a presentation for the American Psychological Association. And usually they do not accept students to do that. And I was a graduate student, accepted. And I gave a talk for 10 minutes, and they were so amazed. And I ended up talking to another faculty member at Ohio State University, and I ended up getting the job at Ohio State University at the Newark campus. So I was there for 3 years. My student won first research prize for best research. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it because I had grand rounds at Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center in the neurology department. So I had to miss her talk because my grand rounds talk was at the same time. And that was tremendous success. And I ended up getting a position at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center after 3 years of being at Ohio State Newark. And then I was also a lecturer at Ohio State University teaching clinical and counseling psychology, as well as the psychology of creativity, behavioral neuroscience, psychology of personality, abnormal psychology. All of those classes I taught and was highly successful. The psychology of creativity went from 25 students to 150 students. So the university made a lot of profit off of me. And like nowadays that professors don't make enough money, especially if you're not tenure track or distinguished eminent scholar. So the university made a lot of money off of me. Students, I found out how much they were paying. They were paying a lot of money for my class. And they were all signing up. And to be honest, there's jealousy at the university. So, when everybody was signing up for my class and not the eminent scholars, there was a little eyebrow raised. And they gave my class to graduate students, which, of course, they did an excellent job. And they copied everything from me, which was fine. My dad taught me that is a compliment. If someone calls you weird or copies off you, those are compliments. So
I love that.
So I'm weird and people copy off me.
Well, listen, that is some great advice from your father. Obviously, a very smart man who knows what he's talking about. All right? Listen, Dr. Charyton, let's start diving into your presidential campaign next, okay? Now, as I've mentioned, your background is remarkable, okay? From your upbringing to your scholastic achievements, even your time as a lead singer in a band. I mean, listen, culminating all of those experiences, Dr. Charyton, how do you think that they will help you relate, but not only relate, lead the American people?
I believe that I've lived a difficult life in that I struggled and earned everything I have, and that other people are struggling right now to make survival happen for them. And I know what it's like to fight to survive and to struggle for survival, especially with my experiences in Los Angeles. And then even as a PhD student, I mean, I had to sacrifice and eat rice and beans. Even now, when I order things from DoorDash, from delivery, from groceries, I had to take things off my grocery list because I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford whatever I was going to order. You know what I mean? And I just had to say, okay, what are the bare necessities that I need? And my mom taught me that. She said, only buy what you need. Don't buy extraneous things and things like that. And then my experiences at the American Psychological Association, I managed Division 10, which was the division for the psychology of the Society for the Psychology of Creativity and Aesthetics in the Arts. And I managed the budget, and we went from a red budget to a black budget with a surplus. So it went so good that they made my position 2 positions, and then they ended up using the money for parties. So that was something that I had done that had never been done before. There was also a journal at that time which brought in revenue, so I'm not taking sole credit for that. But I was the one that was the treasurer. I was the one that managed the money. I was the one that was the secretary at the same time. So I had the minutes, I did the treasury, and then I did such a good job that another organization the ISPST said, can you be our treasurer? Because you did such a great job and you had those fancy graphs and we just love it so much. So I did that and they loved it. They loved the work I did. So, the bottom line is that it's good to manage money. If you can manage your own money good like that, and you can manage other people's money like that too, and treat other people's money like your own money. So all this with not wasteful spending, being conservative with spending is important. The war with Ukraine needed money to survive. However, they don't need a blank check. And I'm Ukrainian American, and I'm telling you this.
Yeah.
I support Ukraine 100%. But I'm American, and America always comes first. And I think that we need to protect the United States' interests first, and then, of course, Ukraine and Israel, and end these wars. So I think that that's so important that we need to do that. And we need to end wars around the world. We need to have a vetting system for illegal immigrants that they become legal. I just interviewed somebody for my horse farm, 25 years in this country. He knows the job to the T. I could pay him probably $50 an hour, which I can't afford, but he's illegal. He's never been vetted. He's never been here legally, and he's been here 25 years. That's not somebody I want to hire. I'd rather hire somebody I have to train and take the time to train them, because then they're here legally. And that's something we want, is legal workers that, or have a pathway to citizenship, have it so he can get his green card and become a USA citizen and be here legally, because he has talents. He's an individual with talents, but he needs to be here legally. It's all about the law and honoring and respecting our laws. And that's so important. So, and I'm a law-abiding citizen. I've been voting since I was 18 years old, and I'm voting this year also. And I am very excited about that opportunity. So I ask and plead for your vote, because the two other candidates, Kamala Harris has foundations in Marxism, which is to get out of the capitalistic system, and Donald Trump is exploitive capitalism, where it's just like hats, t-shirts, all of that, which I'm more of a capitalist, if you ask my opinion, than a Marxist. However, I'm kind of more in the middle as a moderate, where I want to help people achieve their American dream. We can all achieve our American dream. It's our American dream that we can achieve together.
I love what you just said, Dr. Charyton, and what a great plug that you've established here, because people, being the amazing musician that she is, Dr. Charyton has written a beautiful song that you're also going to want to check out, okay? Now, the title of the song, created with some assistance from her campaign manager, James O'Connell, is Living Beyond Our Dreams, Our American Dream. Make sure you check that out as well. It's a fantastic song, again, written and created by Dr. Charyton herself. Go and check it out, all right? Dr. Charyton, a moment ago, you also mentioned that your background in terms of a career path that you chose was in psychology. Well, two-part question here. First and foremost, what inspired that particular career choice? And were there any ties in that career that led you to run for the U.S. president's seat?
Yes, that's a great question. Well, I wanted to be a psychologist to help people. That was my priority. And by helping people, that's something that is a part of me. So when I was in academia, I really missed helping people. So I had to get back into it. And one of my advisors in my postdoctoral internship said, whatever you should do, try to stick into being a psychologist in some capacity, because you did all this training and it's a part of who you are. So I got back into it. So I've always had 2 or 3 careers at one time. So I was a professor and I was a psychologist at the same time practicing, and really enjoyed helping people. And that's something that I strive for. And then in politics, Ted Strickland in Ohio, he was the first psychologist that was governor. And so when I went to a meeting and he spoke, he said, we need more psychologists in office. So please consider running for office. And then as a Ukrainian American, I helped with Ukraine so many times. In 2014 with the Revolution of Dignity, later on, more recently, that I thought, hey, I'm American. I need to help our country. I helped Ukraine, but I need to help our country. So that's where that all comes from, is helping the United States of America. And that's who we are. And we are exceptional in that we help other countries. And you can go down 2 paths. If you go to the Kamala Harris path, you're giving all your money away to other countries and not really helping the United States of America. Or you go through the Donald Trump path and you're just focusing on the United States of America and not any other countries. We need a more moderate approach. That would be to put our country first, but still work with other countries and prioritize our allies. That's what I believe is key. Prioritize our allies, not our adversaries. The Kamala Harris campaign has actually emphasized the adversaries too much. Iran too much. Iran having too much power. That's why there are problems with Israel right now. I mean, she did not go see Bibi Netanyahu when he came to the United States of America. That is not right. She did not go to the Al Smith awards dinner. That is not right. You know, that these are things that she made mistakes with that probably could cost her the campaign. But the problem is that people don't like Donald Trump, that they might vote for her instead of Donald Trump. I'm the middle person. I'm the one that says, vote for me. I will fix things and I will work for you. And I'm going to work my butt off for you like I have in all my jobs. You've heard about all my jobs. I just told you about all my jobs. and I have like 2 or 3 jobs at a time all the time. That's who I am. So I am going to work for you. And I'm still going to work for other people too. I have to work for my clients too. You know, I have to help people. I have to, you know, reach out to people with my books. I need to help people. That's who I am.
You know, people, there is a lot happening here and so much to keep you occupied. Again, it starts with this latest book, The Biography of a Polymath, the Empress of Tomorrow, Dr. Christine Charyton. Dr. Charyton, this next question that I have for you is a bit layered, okay? But follow me down this rabbit hole because I believe that this question is very important to discuss. Talk to us about your perception and the importance of hard work, you know, your experience around that concept and how you believe that that message can connect back to the message of your campaign.
Yes, well, I've always been self-made in that I achieved all my accomplishments on my own. So I worked for my parents when I was 14 years old, from 14 to 16, and it was because I wanted to work. And my dad was a visionary and had a fast food restaurant called Jay's Steaks and Subs. And he believed that Jay's Steaks and Subs would be a new franchise that would be all over like McDonald's, where you could get cheese sticks and hoagies everywhere. Now, if you're in Ohio or California or Texas, you know you can't get a good hoagie anywhere right now. So it would have been great if it took off and we had our cheesesteaks and hoagies. So I actually made French fries for 2 years and got paid for it for 2 years. I made hoagies and ran the cash register and made milkshakes. So I know what hard work is all about, and I want that to relate to other people that are working those jobs that maybe you didn't want. But see, I was grateful that I did want to work and I did want the job. And I was paid above minimum wage and then worked at Macy's. And at Macy's, I worked in the Christmas store at first as a temporary employee, got promoted, went to Women's World, and then went to men's underwear. And all of that at Macy's, the minimum wage at that time was $3.35, and I was making $5 an hour, which was fabulous. So I was grateful for every opportunity I had. And I worked all through my my bachelor's degree as a work-study student, so I can have a little extra income. And I didn't want to put the burden on my parents. And then I also worked through my master's program, and I worked with my bachelor's degree helping mental retardation and mental health children with special education. So I had that job and charged my education on my credit card. And then, of course, my parents were bright and taught me to pay it off before you have interest. So I would charge it on my credit card, get points, and then pay it off before the interest. I'd owe interest on my education. So we were talking like $3,000 on my credit card that I would charge for the semester. So it was a lot of money. And then all through that, and then I kept on working. And even in my PhD program, I worked in the dean's office and had a full tuition scholarship, worked in the dean's office. So the point is that hard work is so important. And in my campaign, I've been doing a lot with my campaign committee, or just myself even, just getting out, making videos, doing podcasts, having ideas for trailers, getting the word out. I even on X, that's at Dr. Charyton, that's my X account, just promoted and put more massive messaging for my campaign and my books out there. And the latest book also. So I think self-promotion is important, and people recognizing your accomplishments really helps a lot. So I think hard work and determination and resilience are important. And that's the thing, is that if you are hardworking, people can't hold you back, that you just accomplish more and more. And that's a success story for anybody, is hard work. Hard work and determination pays off, and resilience. So I like to leave that with the American people, that hard work, determination, and resilience is what we need for our country. And that's my vision for our country moving forward.
There you have it. People, I'm telling, listen, you know where to go. All right, I'm going to say it for you again. We were here on the line with Dr. Christine Charyton. All right, you're going to want to check out her upcoming book, The Biography of a Polymath, The Empress of Tomorrow, Dr. Christine Charyton. Remember, it has a release date of November 15th, but you can pre-order it as early as November 5th. So head on over there, pick up your copies. While you're at it, check out her other books, Chrissy's Diary, as well as Women's Scientific Creativity That Contributes to Society. And there is a lot more, all right, between her books, between her music, and between her presidential campaign. This woman has so much to offer. It's ChristineCharytonPhD.com. It's drchristinecharyton.com, drcharitonmust.com, sidpeace.com. We've mentioned all of the places. We've mentioned the books. And now it's all on you. Head on over there, get lost in everything that she has to offer, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Dr. Charyton, this has been an absolute honor, right? Which is really no surprise to me, because after the first interview and how remarkably impressed we all were, I knew this one was going to follow suit in the exact same way. But thank you once again for being a guest with us. Thank you for discussing all of this fantastic pieces of information. And thank you for being on People of Distinction.
Thank you, Benji.